What are the best builds for solo open world? I'm going to show you the top 3 most popular builds that players currently use after the latest patch notes. I will break down why everyone is using them. And after watching this, you will understand exactly how they work, and then you can decide if they're worth your time. Open the armory by clicking on your avatar picture, select armory, and choose solo open world. Now you see all these different builds that players use in the solo open world. Let's go to the metric and select popular and make sure time frame is set to recent. Now we see the builds that players use most often. And we can see that currently the number 1 is Bear Paws. This is a complete ganking build. It is made to sneak up on enemies, close distances fast, and try to kill them fast. Let's break down the different items and spells. First, the weapon. Bear Paws got buffed twice in a row in the latest patch notes, so it is in a super strong state. The upcoming Radiant Vial's 4 patch notes will reduce the damage on E, Razor Cut, by about 5% to try and balance this out. Even so, the weapon will still be really strong. The most popular spell is Rending Rage. This spell lets you apply bleed charges to anyone hit, so they lose HP over time. This effectively cancels a player's invisibility because they get revealed if they take damage. And with bleed, well, they keep taking damage. If you do Q twice within 2.5 seconds, then the third one becomes a leap that deals damage and roots all enemies within 5 meters, so you can stop them from running away. The W spell that most people use is Adrenaline Boost. When you press this and then deal direct damage, like through an auto attack or your Q spell, then you get 9 seconds of a buff that increases your damage, auto attack speed and movement speed. You could activate this by doing damage on a mob, then chase after another player who's running from you, and the movement speed lasts even longer than a sprint. So it's pretty busted. If you don't do damage for 3.5 seconds, this spell ends early, so you have to be smart about pressing it before you do some damage. And the E spell is Razor Cut. This is a mobility spell that lets you leap in a direction and you get 15% of the damage you deal back as HP. If you hit at least one player, the cooldown is reduced by 25%. The head slot is the Fiend Cowl on the Purge ability. This cancels buffs, including movement speed, so if someone tries to sprint away from you, you can basically press F and say no. The chest piece is Assassin Jacket, which lets you go invisible for about 7 seconds. You can, for example, use this if you see someone, you can dismount in front of them, make your mount disappear, then go invisible and hope they run into you. On the other hand, while you're fighting and clearing something in the open world, you can go invisible, breaking being in combat with the mobs, instantly starting your regen. So someone might see you on half HP, but you just go invisible, the mobs stop attacking you, you start regenerating fast because you're now out of combat, and then you start fighting this opponent that thought they caught you off guard with full HP. The Royal Sandals are used on Defenseless Rush. This is a longer and faster sprint than most others, so it's great for chasing someone and it also increases your damage. Also, because this spell is technically a channel, this sprint is unpurgeable, so you can run away from other gankers and nobody can stop you. For potions, most people use invisibility, which we already explained with the chest piece. This is also a great choice to sneak up on people. You go until they're no longer visible, you don't see the name tag, you just run in, you press Invis Potion and you appear right in front of them. And for food you have Beef Stew. This just gives you flat out more damage. Once you've eaten one, you can swap to a vegetable soup or cabbage soup. So once you get out of combat, you can just eat that and regenerate quickly. Optionally, you can just go Avalonian Beef Stew, which basically gives you damage and health regen. And that was the number 1 most popular build for solo open world right now. Which means there are a lot of gankers roaming the black zones. If you want to learn how to stay safe in the lethal zones and survive being ganked, I have a great video breaking down exactly what to do to stay alive. So check that out next. In all honesty, this build, with this configuration of cape and potions, is not all that great as a fighting build. If you swap to healing potions and smuggler cape, you would have much better survivability. This combo sacrifices that for more sneak attack power. It's only good at sneaking up on people, and it only succeeds in killing if the inexperienced victim panics and tries to run away, or has way less IP. If someone has an actual good build and they actually fight back, even if they have less IP and HP than you, it's actually a very close fight. Also, you have to really know what you're doing and time your spells correctly. This build is not very beginner friendly, but it can teach you to be a good player if you stick with it and practice it. With that said, let's go take a look at the second most popular build for solo open world, which is the Battleaxe and the Torch offhand. This is a super beginner friendly build. It is quite easy to use and it enables you to do almost anything in the game, anything that you can find solo. It is my #1 best choice for any content. You can almost do anything you can think of. That's why I recommend this weapon in my beginner builds video, where this build is some build that you will never regret speccing up. If you're curious, check that video out. The second most popular build is best for solo PvE boss or mob killing because it is great at doing damage and staying alive and healthy during an extended fight against a single target. This weapon's Q and W spells are the same as on the Bear Paws, so you can apply bleed over time and buff your damage and movement speed. The E spell here is Blood Bandit, which combines two abilities. First, you throw an axe which does damage to everything based on how many bleed charges they have from your Q, and if you press E again within 9 seconds, then this time when you throw the axe and it hits someone, it heals you based on the number of bleed charges on the first enemy you hit. The passives are set to healing, so every time you auto-attack something, you steal a bit of their health, and the torch basically increases your attack speed. The head slot is Hunterhood with Retaliate. This is a reflect, which is basically a super simple spell to use. If someone is damaging you, you press it, and then they damage themselves. The chest piece is Mercenary Jacket on Bloodlust, which lets you heal a lot every single time you auto-attack. And for shoes we have Soldier Boots on Healing Sprint, which of course also heals you. And if that's not enough, you also have the Healing Potion. And the Avalonian Beef Stew heals you back up as soon as you're out of combat. So as you can see, in an extended fight, you win because you have so many options to heal you and outlast everyone else. And in fact, it has even more potential. If you swap the cape for the Smuggler Cape, this lets you use a second potion after just 15 seconds. So with 2 healing potions against someone who has Invis, you basically get 36% extra max HP in a fight. With the other cape, which is the most popular choice with this build, you don't get to choose when it's activated. So you might waste it on a mob and then you cannot use it if you get ganked. With the Smuggler Cape, you choose when you drink your potions, so in my opinion, it's the much better option. And you can almost guarantee solo every single objective in the game, like chests, other roads, aspects, bosses, and on top of that, the set is even fairly cheap, so the risk is not that high if you die. And the third most popular build is the Holy Staff with a Sarcophagus offhand. This is a basic PvP healing build. This is a healer that you cannot underestimate. With this healing set you can almost kill every single other build you see. The Holy Staff is of course set to Smite, which does a lot of damage. And the only thing that is really annoying is that you have to aim this at a moving target and that there is a delay before the smite lands. The W is Sacred Pulse, knocking people away and healing you. It also pops the passive after your smite lands. The E lets you heal back a lot of HP, especially if you start to drop low. For the head slot, most people use the Mage Cowl. Energizing Shield gets you more energy for your spells, but in my opinion, Cultist Cowl is way better if you want to do PvP with a Holy Staff. The Inner Corruption spell makes your enemy take damage every time they use a spell or auto-attack you. So basically they have to stop using anything and they can just run around like a duck. But this is probably the popular choice because it is cheap. The chest piece is Mage Robe with the Frost Shield spell. This is a reflect which is great for healers because they need to buy time between their heals. So you just activate Frost Shield and now if the enemy attacks you, they take damage themselves and they get slowed on top of that, so they don't want to hit you, otherwise they die quicker because you can land your smite easier. If you fight an axe, they are now perma-slowed because the bleed they apply to you basically procs the shield all the time, so they are basically crawling in front of you and you don't even have to carefully aim your smite anymore. You can just plump it on their head and they keep getting blinded by the light like VOOM! Oh my god. VOOM! Oh my god, please, boom, and they will regret ever attacking a healer. A lot of people underestimate how much damage a healing build can do, and you will catch a lot of people off guard with this. The boots here are assassin shoes with the refreshing sprint. This gives you cooldown reduction so you can use all of the spells we just went through more often. The food is also for cooldown and basically to increase how fast your smite drops on the people. The Giga Potion is great for staying alive against a weapon that unloads a lot of damage in a short time. You use your potion and you probably only lose around 25% of your HP instead of being dead. And now the enemy dies because they basically wasted all of their important cooldowns and you will just heal and bully them. Those are the top 3 popular builds. If you want to spec these up and have it not take an eternity, I have a great guide on how to maximize item power efficiently. Check that out too and save yourself a lot of time. And now it's time to give back. I have 5 premium codes I want to give away. To enter, you just have to do 2 things. First, comment down below your favorite weapon and content that you're playing right now. And second, please, for the love of God, turn on the bell notifications. I know every YouTuber says this, but I really mean it. Every single time I do a giveaway, I spin the wheel, I reply to your comment to tell you that you won, and half of you people ghost me and I cannot give you the code that you won because you do not reply to me. That makes me mad. So if you enter the giveaway, please do yourself a favor and hit the notification button so that you don't miss it when you actually win it. That's everything, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Play these 3 builds and smack some ass in black zones. See you guys in the next one. Bye.